let's go for another match of the joust. We have here in the color yellow, playing as the Ubids, it is Amerath. It's doing a very beautiful build. Very interesting that he's building the House of Wisdom already. I don't do it in this order, but I don't think it matters. We'll get back to him. In the purple, it's Jeanne d'Arc. And Jeanne d'Arc, of course, building everything. You want to maximize the amount of experience she gets. There's the little counter there. There's the experience. As she evolves, you can unlock one of two things. We'll go back to them as they happen. Looking at the map features here, it's Dry Arabia, of course. Very relatively close together sacred sites. I imagine if the game goes into the late game, holding this sacred site with at least one keep is going to be very important, because then you can very easily and very safely take one of the other two, and that is not only a lot of gold, but it's also a victory condition. Also looking at the deer, very interesting. This deer is very close to bat space, so we might opt to go for professional scouts because of that. On the other hand, he only opened with one scout, so I don't think he's doing that. Let's go now back to Amerath space. So Amerath, he has to spend some time to build mining camp, the house, and the House of Wisdom. These four buildings with a mill, they're non-negotiable, right? You open up with a mill, you eventually want to build a house and a mining camp and a House of Wisdom. I usually build them in this order. The Amerath chose to build the House of Wisdom second and the house third. Yeah, the positioning of the House of Wisdom here, yeah, okay, it's very cheap, you get everything. But this could be important farmland for the late game, and if you look here into the Eco Wing... No, actually, it's the Abbasid that get a lot of good farming bonuses, so completely disregard that. Yeah, we're seeing a logistics game very popular around like 3 seasons ago when they redid the military wing reinforcements to not provide a desert raider immediately. And logistics is very powerful. Logistics is quite powerful here. Not logistics, yeah, logistics, yeah. Providing with the 2 dervishes, they can heal in combat. On the other hand, we see the School of Cavalry here for Jeanne d'Arc, absolutely standard play. So just a tiny little tidbit, when Jeanne d'Arc got released first, people were theorizing that Jeanne d'Arc alone should build the School of Cavalry, but she would miss timing a lot, and like when the knights showed up to do harassment or whatever, the other side would be completely well defended. So yeah, people have been doing this now, where they build Jeanne d'Arc plus a few other workers. Yeah, so nothing new here. So 2 variant civs, very interestingly enough. So Jeanne d'Arc, of course, French variant. Ayyubid's Abbasid's variant. We are getting no further upgrades here from Amerath. Amerath might be trying to do a fast castle, which I like, but it's also very bold. Against French, you really need a little bit of army to defend, especially because this knight, only 15 seconds away, it takes him another 15 or so to get to the other side of the map. When Jeanne d'Arc is close to leveling up. So yeah, going back to the map features, this deer pack is just right here, right for the taking here for Pat. He might expand his base here. So, no way, Amerath does not have... Oh, that's unfortunate, he doesn't have enough population space for the dervishes. Needs a house ASAP. Building with too many workers. So that's a little bit of a mistake, but shouldn't cost him too much. Alright, there we go. There's the tower, 5 villagers on gold, which means that they should be able to garrison in time before anyone dies. No charge either. No, the villager went the wrong way around. Oh, and the scout dies for Pat, that's also quite awful. Yeah, and the dervishes will heal the villagers, so there goes the value of the harassment, right? Want to try and get some damage, and oh, there we just heal. So this is clearly a fast castle here from Amerath. Amerath even pulled from berries. Even though he does have a decent amount of berries, but it's... You really would rather keep yourself like this. Let's see what Pat chooses, though. Pat, you're about to upgrade Jeanne d'Arc. You upgraded her to the Men-at-Arms. We get a description? I don't think we get a description, so I'm gonna have to select her. There she is. So she gains Holy Wrath instead of the arrow that deals a lot of damage. And she basically a Man-at-Arms instead of an archer. The archer is more popular, but the Jeanne d'Arc Woman-at-Arms gains a ton of value heading into the mid and late game. I don't mind this at all here. I think Pat is setting himself up really well for the later stages of this game. Ooh, good wall from Amerath prevents the units from just coasting in. Ah, this dive. I know what he's trying to do, but what Pat has to do here is just age up and ideally you need crossbows. You also need highs on what Amerath is doing. Because you really want to see what his composition is going to be heading into Castle Age. Typically, yeah, Lancer Knights is great. But you also want to... You might do light units, like their spears are still really good, like they have other really nice units. Ooh, diving the woodline like that, not sure, taking a lot of damage that you can't really heal. You might get a worker, and this is idle time. Idle time is very good here for the French. It's one, that's 2 workers! Oh, that's 2 workers, look at that destroyed value. 65 against 100, 100 for the 2 workers, 65 for the scout. Yeah, and we're getting the heal from the dervishes. This is very, very interesting. Not really great, the dervishes at the stage of the game, but they will be once Amerath ages up and they can immediately just pick up the relics. Because I suspect he's gonna go, what, reinforcements, maybe? Yeah, reinforcement, there we go. Reinforcement, so he's gonna produce 3 Desert Raiders immediately. And then every 2 minutes he gets 3 Desert Raiders for the rest of the game. If he makes a lot of Desert Raiders as well into the game, then the Arbaletier, I called them crossbows before, Arbaletier would be a bad play. Well, this is way too many workers here for the deer. If he is going, yeah, he is going for the deer. He has no food under the town center, as I've expected. Yeah, and Pat's timing is kind of dead now. Oh, what? He's not building it because it doesn't have the wood. Oh no, this is so much time. This is so much time. This is like hundreds of food down the drain already. Sometimes you can get really unlucky with these timings here for doing things, but yeah, Pat really needs to age up. Amerath is a minute, about a minute from aging up. Doing multiple stables, so I can imagine this is Camel Lancers. Is it? Only got 6 on gold for 2 stables, Camel Lancers. You want 12, and you also want to get some upgrades. Doesn't have a wheelbarrow, doesn't have horticulture. Horticulture not really important at this stage of the game, but wheelbarrow definitely is. Ooh, and Pat is gonna try an attack here. Ooh. Alright, alright. That could be the 3rd worker kill. Oh, if the dervishes dies, then the whole point of getting them. So collecting the relics at this stage of the game goes down the drain. I think one of these knights is about to die. Oh, no, another villager gets killed. I definitely saw Amerath open the console. Alright, but we have 3 Desert Raiders. While not enough to deal with this, they can get enough value where it's not worth it for Pat to fight here. Unless he fights with the spears, of course. Then he can just switch to range and kite them. Ooh, Pat really trying to destroy this tower. I'm not sure if this is proper use of the knights here. Amerath healing up, doing a good job, I might add. Well, at least this from Pat is preventing Amerath from ever getting those relics. Even though, yeah, Amerath is keeping tabs on them. Pat is very close to clicking that age up. Alright, nice kill there. Only one dervish left. Yeah, only one dervish left. Right there. All the spears and the Jeanne d'Arc hitting that. Very nice. Now we are seeing, these are Desert Raiders and Camel Lancers. Amerath not producing anything because his gold got taken. And that's 3-0 in worker kills. But look at the destroyed value. Destroyed value in the favor of Amerath. So definitely taking the better fights here. Pat not really with units upgraded. Is going Guildhall. So the Guildhall I think is better for late game. Because you can keep collecting resources, especially when those resources start to go, when they start disappearing from the map, when you start not having any gold. Oh, nice! So many kills here for Pat. So many kills, and he only loses a knight for that, so that's definitely not terrible. He does the spears here while tanking with villagers. That's nuts. But he lost way too many units. Now it's 9-9, and Amerath's units are upgraded, so Amerath might have timing here. Kill Jeanne d'Arc, which is definitely a blow. I'm really curious now to see how Amerath recovers here. Yeah, because he should get that relic. Unfortunately, he lost one dervish, so he can't just collect 2 right away. I would imagine he would try to collect this one next. We'll keep tabs on the relics. So Pat now in Castle Age. I think now is as good time as ever. If he goes up with the Royal Institute, he has access to some very good upgrades, but you need a lot of gold to make that happen. So instead he goes with the Guildhall. He's gonna get basically a keep for free at 900 stone here collected. Oh, that's Jeanne d'Arc collecting sacred sites. I got slightly confused there. Yes, Jeanne d'Arc can collect sacred sites. That's another trickle of gold that can be a big deal. Oh, look at Amerath placing his relics away from monasteries. But now Pat needs to collect those upgrades. Wait until his knights are strong and beefy. I wouldn't really mind if he used one monk to heal. The same way that Amerath is using the dervish to heal. Oh, good job pulling the dervish. Great awareness. Should not lose the dervish up for free. This is a great fight for Amerath. Don't forget that those camels and the desert raiders nerf the attack of the knights. Pat going spears. Now would be the time for Pat to go into arbaletriers. But of course, for arbaletriers, you need so much gold. I think these 2 golds are kind of safe. But while you don't have map control, you don't really want to dodge them too much. Okay, so that's 8 workers going here for this boar. Does Pat have the hunt upgrade? Oh, he doesn't. This upgrade is so important. Alright, but we're getting Amerath starting to hit. He's gonna try to hit the gold. Yeah, if Pat can get the villager count, at least within 2, I think he's in a very much a winning position here for Amerath, of course. There we go, there are the arbaletriers. Arbaletriers, of course, are one of the best units in the game. They are really good against other armored units. Usually very weak against melee units that are not armored, especially horsemen and archers. But the arbaletriers, fortunately for French, arbaletriers have a lot of melee armor, especially with the upgrade. The upgrade, they really have a lot of melee armor. And they have their ability, the Pavise, which allows them to be so much more effective. And these Lancers here in the back of the base doing absolutely God's work. For Amerath, he also has this army in the front of the base. Pat's army and units here just being a little bit lost. Not really sure what they are doing here. Oh, they found the boar. They found the boar! I think Amerath was going for gold. Absolutely was going for gold, but finding the boar is great. We are now 9-7 in the worker kill department. Amerath 2 workers ahead because of the idle time. So that's what we're looking at here. It's an absolute beast of a comeback from Amerath. Just being very aggressive. I really like that. Yeah, single artilleries of course don't do anything. And I don't know, man. Pat needs to calm down. He's gonna lose Jeanne d'Arc. Oh no, that's so costly. That is so costly. Yeah, and of course Amerath trying to scout to see where the workers are. Ah, the danger. The danger of trying to take resources so you don't have map control. It's precisely this one, just... Amerath just keeps piling on the worker kills, and the Pat now forced into this terrible, terrible farm transition. And I don't know, it takes a little bit of a miracle for Pat to get back into this game. Also, Pat, if you ever watch the stream back, we have cheap eco upgrades. Or cheaper. Get them. Get them, you really need them. As Jeanne d'Arc, as you don't have any economic advantage over your opponent. So, now you are very much in a very losing position. You have ranged armor here for Amerath so that he can dive the town center. Now Pat's building the walls. Yeah, these walls needed to be up much earlier. Connecting this wall here would also be quite a big deal, but now it's too late. We're getting workers sent forward. Amerath is going to build towers somewhere. Oh, the monk trying to collect the relic or a sacred site. And monk is down. I think Amerath collected 4 relics already. So we should have 3 in one of them. Did Pat get 1? Pat got 1. So this is the only relic that's left. 3-1 in relics. That's a lot of gold for Amerath. With 18 working on gold, they can just produce these expensive, powerful units all game long. The Pat is stuck building it's going arbaletier and spears, which in theory does counter this, but not getting knights, not getting the best knights in the game as French hurts, definitely, but I don't think there's much Pat can do about that, since he doesn't really have enough gold, and it's getting raided to death. Also doesn't help. Already 14 workers down. All the while Amerath, his economy is undisturbed. Yeah, the only place that doesn't have a wall is this patch here, right? Yeah. Berries, always very important. Got those 2 last berries at home. And there's the last few knights here for Pat. Gonna get killed. Like, the army theoretically counters Amerath's army, right? And he does have more army, but Amerath's army is much more expensive, and they have much higher stats here. I think that's a big deal. But we also have Jeanne d'Arc Knight. He upgraded the Knight here. Could have upgraded the Knight at Archer. Actually, I don't know what the Cavalry Archer does. People don't really upgrade it. Oh my god, he found these workers again, and they're so low. Gets another kill. That's 21-9. Is it a wolf? That is a wolf indeed. So Amerath has to see this, otherwise wolf MVP. I don't think he will. Yeah, Pat's trying to do counterattacks. That's important. He has a worker forward. That should have been a misclick. Amerath also had workers forward. I don't think he built any towers that I expected. A tower here would be quite good. Not gonna lie there. Yeah, these knights here trying to dodge. There's Jeanne d'Arc collecting the sacred site. You definitely don't want the sacred site timer to start ticking. When there's a lot of army, and this is exactly what I'm referring to. Sure, you Pat the numbers, but Amerath has the quality here. And the spears don't trade 1-to-1 with camel lancers. That's the thing. Also, Desert Raiders, I'm pretty sure, are a light unit. Yeah, they're light ranged and melee camel. Oh, that knight, poor knight. So yeah, oh, Pat going second TC, that's cute. I don't think he'll have enough time to actually get it up, and like he'll have time to get it up, but he won't have time to make it pay off. That's a nice attempt, and again, it's like no eco upgrades at the stage of the game, where you could be like with wheelbarrow, the hunt upgrade, and have the second food and wood upgrade. Amerath could fight this and win the fight, but I like the caution here. He only wants to fight with overwhelming numbers. And he might want to keep raiding a little bit. Just really prevent Pat from ever massing a unit here. And if you look at the eco upgrades from Amerath, he's getting 2-2 on food and on wood upgrades. He's also getting wheelbarrow. It's more than half of the way done. He already has the hunt upgrade. Like, the economies are just night and day. Over 1,000 resources per minute more than that Amerath is collecting. And he only, I say only under quotation marks, he only has 16, 17 workers more. That's 15 workers more, or 14 or something. So, not 1,000 resources worth of an overwhelming number. Wait, that actually might be more, but yeah, anyway, like, farm transition here sucks for Pat. He really didn't want to do it. Especially with lower economy, but I don't think he had much of a choice. As he got denied everything. Yeah, Pat not trying to attack. This army is just such low quality. But he has to do something. He can't just sit back at home and wait for the economies to catch up. Otherwise, Amerath will take the resources that are available on the map, like the sacred sites. Did Pat think this was open? He might not have actually have caught it. Spears touching the army here would be the death of Amerath's army. Oh, the dervish being sent forward definitely did not help. Yeah, area healing should kill him. Oh, and there's the Manganique. I'm sorry, the Manganique. Also a bit of a raid going. Yep, there are knights at home defending. And what an overwhelming win. I mean, these are the camel lancers. Yeah, that was nice. That was nice. Don't forget, Desert Raiders can make Manganiques on the field. I think it's all cavalry, not just Desert Raiders, but yeah. So we're making Manganiques. Why is that one tiny? This one is massive. Making a few Springles as well. Very good against infantry. Actually, you get 3 or 4 Springles, and you can really decimate the front lines. Some units defending the Skull Vein. The Skull Vein is about to finish, and once it does, what's next for Pat? Where's he getting his gold, right? He's getting it here. And this is vulnerable to the Manganique shots. But this is, now it's overwhelming numbers, and these overwhelming numbers, I would, yeah, he has to go, right? I'm not sure, does Amerath know of the second town center? He doesn't. And that is quite critical, because he might think he has a larger lead than the one he has. Yeah, spears and arbalests. I really am not sure. Yeah, Pat's gonna try to see if he raids here, but there's nothing there to raid. Yeah, there should be a decent farm transition here for Amerath. There we go. Yeah, these farms are a little bit... they're gonna be a bit inefficient, especially when we have space around the town. No, he doesn't have space around the town center, I'm sorry. But he will be building mills afterwards, so that's fine. Oh, really? A tower with a sprinkled emplacement at this stage of the game. This tower should have been up so much earlier. Yeah, but with the siege now, I really don't think Pat has any chance. He's down 35 supply as well. Look at Amerath softening up the houses. At least he gets his resources back. Those workers should be dead. Oh, look at the Springles. Look at the work that the Springles and the Manjaniques together are making. Loads of healing. Like, the fight is being well taken, but still, just the numbers are overwhelming. The quality of the army is overwhelming. But still, the power of the Arbaletriers. The Arbaletriers that are going down because of the Manjaniques. Yeah, nice initiative here from Pat, but just... Amerath just being the superior player for the time being. Yeah, and Pat calls it. That is game number 1. Game number 1 going to Amerath. Let's take a look at the stats here, because the stats are going to tell the story of the game. Oh, look at the Dervish healing. The Manjaniques keep devastating. Oh, I forgot we don't have stats on replays. Oh, that's perfect. Alright, let's go! Game number 2, Amerath up 1-0. We have an Order of the Dragon mirror match here between Amerath here in the yellow and PatDelMuerte here in the orange. Both going for the same opening here on the mill. This is 4 lakes though, also called Cross. So yeah, features of the map here. Each player has access to 1 gold very close to their town center. And there should be one, I think it's this one, that's like a little bit further away, but also part of it. And the rest of the resources are kind of scattered throughout the center. You should also have access, I think it's this one for Amerath here. Access to a forest relatively nearby. No, actually very nearby. And a secondary forest, which I actually think is this one. Rather close, right? It's this one for Pat, and this one the... no, it's this one, the one that's rather close, but not really. A deer pack right next to your base. No player going for the lakes is a little bit concerning here. Even though, of course, Order of the Dragon has the best villagers in the game. They, of course, work... they work better, they have more HP. They also return more resources, but they take longer to build. And Order of the Dragon starts with 1 less. So that's where the balance is. And their units are also... They cost double the supply and they're twice as powerful as other civs. Makes it actually quite hard to judge fights, because you used a certain level to your units, and now all of a sudden, like, their units, like, they have less, but they're more powerful. That can kind of mess you up. Looking at the builds as they are right now, Amerath with 4 on gold, 6 on the deer, and Pat's 2 on the gold, and yeah, it's 5 on deer. Oh, he's going for something forward. Alright, it's a nice iron chapel just outside the town center. Getting the berries in this wood line, that's pretty nice. Amerath, of course, doesn't quite have the gold. I think Amerath went for the hunt upgrade, while Pat did not. So there's an advantage there for Amerath, unless Pat takes advantage of the timing. But oh boy, we got a minework palace here for Amerath. In my estimation, from all the games that I've seen throughout the lifespan of the game, the minework palace, I'm opening the tooltip. So the tactics have the time to research, and they cost half as much as well. Also, you have unique techs here. So I think the great advantage of minework is if you get to take advantage of the timing on the upgrades that it's going to possess. And especially in a mirror match, you could have a situation where you have 1 or 2 units less than your opponent, but because you have the upgrades, they're going to be so much better. So, I really think they could take advantage. Amerath could take advantage of that. On the other hand, Pat is going for a much more like economical approach to this. Trying to save as many resources as he can, trying to age up as fast as he can. He doesn't even get the hunt upgrade, which I think is a big mistake. The hunt upgrade, so if I can get the tooltip here. 15% hunted meat gather rate, and they opened up with going deer. So this is, to me, it's a no-brainer. You get this upgrade as soon as you start the game. But of course you need a lot more gold than to age up, because you're gonna spend 75 at the very initial 100. Wow, look at Amerath with 17 sheep. That's gotta hurt. So if you're new to the game here, what can I say here? So Amerath, of course, has more sheep, so he's gonna have more food before he has to transition into farms. No players went for the water here. The water contains these lovely deep water fish that renew. They renew, so you could, in theory, just not in theory, in practice, you have 2 boats per per fish, and they are always taking the fish. On the other hand here, Pat going for horsemen. I'm not sure about that. I'm really not sure about that. Now, the reason is horsemen with Mindwork, I think, is extremely powerful, first of all. But secondly, like, the point here of the horseman is to raid. And, like, you're trying to raid in order as a dragon player, so exactly the same tools as you do. I went for the gold, but that's also only 2 sheep. Man, Pat got outplayed hard here in the early game, I think. Trying to get those horsemen out as soon as he could. Not even 6 minutes and he already has 2 horsemen out. That's actually pretty good. And now he's going to try to do that very fast age up, even though he's got 7 on wood collecting here. Ooh, these guys are definitely exposed, and it is 8 villagers going for the burger, so Amerath even ages up faster. Is Amerath gonna lose a worker? Ooh, that's so unlucky. Alright, he loses a worker, that's not great. But also, that horseman can... like, it should leave. The horseman should leave. There you go, saves the horseman here for Pat. And he has to try and get something else, but because Amerath has so much sheep, he can't absolutely afford to get out of the deer here. Only 40 deer were left, I think. 40 food. Yeah, there's no deer carcass here, so... like, yeah, loses the villager, which hurts, and you can see he's down the worker compared to Pat. Pat also a little bit idle, so I don't know about that. Also, stable range for Pat. Pat is like a minute from putting down his building, so it's gonna be a lot of men-at-arms or knights coming out for Amerath before Pat can even do something about it. And he's already getting iron undermash, so he does plan on diving buildings. We're getting gilded men-at-arms here, early gilded men-at-arms. It costs less, of course, because of the Burger's Palace. Oh, you also research text faster here. That's crazy. Wow, this is a much better strategy here for Amerath than Pat, I think. For the mirror match. Wow, going straight for the gold. Going straight for the gold. I don't know how you defend against these men-at-arms in Feudal Age. Yeah, so typical of Amerath, gets two men-at-arms and then gets the upgrade. That's extremely well done. They also have the timing on blacksmith upgrades. I'd get another upgrade here. Another cheeky upgrade. Ooh, this man-at-arms is already getting there, and Pat just now aged up with the Burger's Palace. Very chaotic game. I'm getting crossbows now. I like the crossbows. But in the meantime, they hardly take any damage. They are so tanky. You don't want to stay there though. Alright, I think the other men-at-arms and the tank stuff is pretty good. And Amerath's just gonna get a conga line. Conga line of workers. Oh no! Pat is gonna suffer. But alright, Pat has his crossbows. Crossbows will definitely put up a lot of work until Amerath gets some archers. Or horsemen. You could get horsemen. Horsemen men-at-arms is actually very difficult to deal with. Very in-your-face composition. But having these men-at-arms spread out means that there's a lot of idle time going for Pat. Oh, Pat doesn't even have that much food here. Oh, what happened to Amerath? Amerath has 2 less workers than Pat. With only 10 seconds idle time and 1 worker kill. Ah, that's the reason why. Pat decided to go fishing. You should. I think the theory is 2 fishing ships per batch of deep water fish, but it should provide with so much food so quickly, especially with the upgrades. That's so worth it. Yeah, you're making crossbows. Let's get those ranged upgrades. Of course, makes them have 6 armor against the 15 attack. So 9 damage. 9 damage on a lot of damage. You have the horsemen here and the crossbows. I said in the last game, and I'll say it again. Horsemen might be the best, the second best counter in the game. 2 crossbows, second to the siege, of course, the Mangonel / Manganique that Amerath actually used and used to great effect here. Yeah, and Amerath here just gonna click that gas pedal. Gonna keep it. He's gonna keep it down because you really can't afford to let this. You really can't afford to let the economy of Pat catch up. Even though Pat doesn't have any upgrades, this upgradeless style of his here is definitely costing him at this stage of the game. Where Amerath's upgrades are kicking in, he has double ranged armor and 1 melee armor. Well, look at how easily, the horsemen dive the town center. They're also gonna kill the crossbows. Crossbows, if I were to do a unit tier list, crossbows are definitely A tier, but they are countered very heavily by these horsemen. That's something to take into account. Of course, now Pat is starting to get his fishing economy going. But still, 2 more workers got killed. Oh, he's under the town center, forcing spears out of Pat. Which, spear crossbow is just... It's not as good as it sounds. You're going for counter units, yes, but... And they will make quick work of horsemen men-at-arms in these small-time engagements. Once you had, 10 units on each side, the horsemen are able to dodge the spears, and that becomes a nightmare scenario. Alright, Amerath capturing the relics. I don't mind this one at all. And is now going into the dock. Okay, that dock is gonna go down very shortly. And crossbows. See how good crossbows are even against spears. Of course, these crossbows don't have any armor. They are they're your default crossbows, not arbaletiers like they were last game, but it's still very interesting. Crossbows usually are a must in every game, unless your opponent really makes a lot of horsemen. Usually against Roos, it has to be a judgment call because they can very easily go something like Horseman Streltsy. That's also very powerful, but in this matchup, crossbows tend to be a must, and it's forcing Amerath into this very odd composition. And floating wood and gold, wouldn't mind seeing, he has a stable, I wouldn't mind seeing another stable and spending your resources that way. But I also see what he's doing here. He's taking his fishing. I think it's really important to get these upgrades. making your fishing just that much more efficient, right? All the armies just past each other. So at the moment, Pat's army far superior to anything Amerath has to offer, but Amerath, yeah, he definitely has the economy. Up in workers, workers of course, fish are taken into account there. Oh, that's a big hit. Allowing those relics to get back. If you see the destroyed value in favor of Pat. So that early criticism I gave him, not entirely correct now. He's getting wheelbarrow. I like it. A little bit late, but I like it. Right, these villagers are gonna get absolutely massacred. His buildings are getting massacred as well. The scout means non-negligible damage to buildings. Gets less though. And yeah, 25 torch damage. Get 17 torch damage. That's pretty good. There's not enough units, but Landsknecht. Landsknecht gonna be pretty good. Ooh, and archers and crossbows are very good against spears. But not in this count. And none of these upgrades for Amerath. These two. Yeah, Pat takes the wise decision here and leaves. Army counts being the same, but so much more economy for Amerath. Still not getting extended lines. That's a very good tech. I would get this tech every game. Oh, what a wall! It's keeping this outside of the realm for the time being. Monastery in the front of the base. I'm not sure about that. That's a slight nitpick. Amerath is so far away here. And he's going to be making Landsknecht, spears, and horsemen. Landsknecht, a way for him to spend the gold. Yeah, Pat is floating so much food here. How is he floating food? Has he been making nothing but archers here, or is he making nothing but archers? Yeah, he needs to pull away from food and just go into wood, except he's doing that. Wait, yeah, he is doing that, no longer on berries. He needs a stable in order to produce his horsemen, which are one of the better ways to spend that food. It's just still, while I'm giving advantage Amerath, it's a small advantage. Oh, look at Amerath building a market to buy food. But as soon as Amerath gets extended lines and gets the second upgrade with so much fish going on here, food economy should skyrocket even more. Oh, is Pat gonna make men-at-arms archers? It is a good composition. It is a good composition, but you have no confirmation that Amerath is sticking to spears and the Landsknecht. Unless he does. Well, I did just see this. Oh, the archers got upgraded. Oh, these archers are going to be so good now. But letting the men-at-arms not tank the damage, that's not great. But the upgrades from Amerath should come into play here. 0 upgrades for Pat. That is going to be the death of the army here. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Pat is holding. Imagine if he had upgrades. But still, the spears die trying to fight an army that is tailor-made to counter them. This should give Amerath here on the other side an opportunity to do something. Yeah, Horseman and Landsknecht should be pretty good. Horseman men-at-arms, I think, is what I personally would go for. Landsknecht can be pretty good too, but if your Landsknecht are caught... They have Landsknecht. What a beautiful unit. The Landsknecht are caught by archers. They have no armor whatsoever and only 180 HP. A tri-gilded unit compared to the 290 of them men-at-arms is night and day here. They get caught by the archers, they can get killed very, very quickly. Oh, we're making a bunch of... so many stables, so many things here. Really gambling hard on having the economy for this. Yeah, whereas Pat is nowhere near. He's still making units out of his Berggrave. He still has this gold here in the back that he can take. That's 4k, that's a lot of gold. Making some crossbows. You always have to be mindful of men-at-arms, right? The Pat is gonna try to take away the water economy, which I am just... I am so indecisive here. I really don't know if... Like, he has to try to take away the water economy, but... I don't know if this is the better way, especially if your crossbows are getting hit by horsemen. And horsemen, like, look at the resource count. Amerath is floating a little bit of wood, but Pat is floating a little bit of wood and a lot of food. Oh, just look at the landscape go! Of course they're getting killed like butter here by the archers, even with the upgrades. Like, Pat, and upgrades, bro. Upgrades are very important. You kind of are in the game still. But Amerath is just... he has the upgrades that you don't. Oh, what an ugly wall in this area. This is hilarious, this area here being open. Yeah, but very interesting wall. Doesn't care about the deer, which honestly we have all of this food here. Yeah, I never got the fishing upgrades from the dock. Neither player got the fishing. No, Pat got the first fishing upgrade. Then again, the armies, we're seeing... Pat is making archers and crossbows. He has a few knights. I like the few knights. He has one spear. Whatever, dude. He has men-at-arms. Yeah. Pat is thinking the right thoughts here, but he's always gonna lose these fights if he never gets any upgrades. Oh, there we go. There's gonna be a big fight. So we have fully upgraded veteran horsemen. Look at these stats, my god, they're so beefy. Yeah, now the horsemen are here to take out the ranged units. And, wow, knights don't even... Yeah, they are a factor. They're very good. My god, the horsemen on the range just got eliminated. Oh, we have a villager fighting! Yeah, and this... How do you recover from this situation when your opponent has so much army? Yeah, you don't. And that's the series. Amerath takes it 2-0. It was a pretty good one. I enjoyed the series. Yeah, so now we have 2 series done. Let's go over to the 3rd series of this joust. It's going to be boy versus berries.